Mike Bohn here with the champ, Belal Muhammad, after the UFC 315 press conference here in Montreal. Belal, promotional efforts underway for your first title defense. You just saw Jack faced off with them for the first time. Takeaways from this press conference?
I'm just excited to be back in the mix, right? I was out for 6 weeks, and I was like, oh, when am I going to fight? When am I going to fight? So now that I got a date and a name, all this extra stuff, it doesn't really matter to me. I'm just excited to finally get a camp going again.
Yeah. And I saw you, we did that interview in January in LA when you were doing the kids seminar and stuff, and like you thought it was going to be Shavkat still. Did you really know? Like, I know sometimes you guys got to play coy with us, but at that point, like last month, did you still think it was going to be Shavkat?
Yeah, no, I thought it was going to be Shavkat. We were training for it, and that's like the hard part, right? Because I had a camp for him, and I was going 6 weeks, and then I got hurt, and then I'm like, all right, well, he just beat Ian, so it's going to be him again. But then they called, and they said it's not going to be him, and I was just like, they're like, it's not going to be Shavkat. Then we were like, well, Kyrgyzstan, Jamaican, Australian. I was like, I don't really care, bro. Just give me a name and a date, and I'll be ready for it.
Yeah. Was there any talk of anyone else, or did you feel like they made the right call here?
I think they made the right call. When you're looking at the landscape of the division, he has the longest winning streak, and he came off a big win against Gilbert Burns. And when I'm looking at everybody else, like Usman's on a losing streak, Buckley had a good streak going, but I just think that JDM's probably a little bit ahead of him with the level of opponent that he just fought. But like I said, for me as a champion, you got to take on anybody. You want to fight anybody. I'm going to fight the best. So I figured he would be the next in line if he beat Leon. So we just shortcutted it and we got it first.
Yeah, makes sense. I've seen the Leon supporters be like, why not give our man a rematch here? Would you have been off-put if that was the direction they went?
Bro, I literally beat him up for 5 rounds. Like the people even saying that. For me, it doesn't really matter, right? Because I'm better than him. I'm better than all these guys. So I felt like I would have walked through him again. But I want to be that champion that doesn't sit there and pick, oh, this is the biggest fight, let me get that one, or this guy has more followers than that guy. No, I want to all right, who's the guy with the biggest streak? Because I never got that chance, right? The champions before me, I had a long streak forever. Usman never looked my way. Leon never looked my way, and he tried to avoid me. But for me, for even a guy like Jack, he's not a big talker, right? So he wasn't going to sit there and beg for it or anything like that. So I'm giving him this opportunity because that's the type of champion I want to be that I am. I want to fight the best guys that they have in the division, and I think right now with everybody else, he's the best.
Yeah, I know you don't necessarily fight for like the money and things like that, but as you talk about promoting the fight, Jack's there, he's pretty quiet. I assume you're getting the pay-per-view points now and the champ treatment. Like, this card is nice overall. You got 2 title fights, but you're like, man, come on, give me a little more in the promotion here.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Let's get a little bit racist or something in here, bro. Spit at me or something. But I think when you're looking at the level of the fight, right, I think it's the highest level fight you're going to put in our division. Mm-hmm. We're both 2 guys that don't break. And I think whoever orders the pay-per-view, they're going to be in for a treat. And you have the best women's martial artist in Shevchenko. And, there's a little bit of bad blood between them two. So, yeah, you're looking at it and you're like, but I fought like Wonder Boy, and I fought Luke and like the nicest guys, right? So I've dealt with it before where I'm trying to figure out something to hate with them. And then coming off of a fight where I didn't like Leon Edwards, it's a different type of promotion now because I'm like, I don't want to make fun of him or anything right now because it just doesn't seem authentic. So there's not no bad blood, but I do think we're both going to come to fight, right? We're both going to put hands on each other. And for me, I still have that chip on my shoulder. He's going to outbox Belal. He's going to kill Belal. He's going to do this. I want that same manager. I want you guys to keep saying that because I'm going to go out there and keep proving you wrong.
Do you think you're going to have a lot of fight night and fight week support? I'm pretty sure there's a pretty strong Muslim community here in Montreal.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, even at the game yesterday, we had so many fans that were running up to us. At the hotel, I was having so many fans, and I was like, okay, I got to come to Canada a little bit more often. Yeah. No, I think you did something in Toronto like a couple of years ago, right before the fight with Gilbert, right? Yeah. And then I've had a couple of charity events down here too. In Toronto, so it's gonna be cool. I already have so many people that messaged me, bought tickets already, and I'm excited. Glad the tickets went on sale, and just feeling the energy yesterday in the hockey game with a hockey team that's really not that good. I think that the energy is gonna be another level when it comes fight night. Yeah.
When you look at Jack, I mean, people look at the Basil Hafez fight, those first 2 rounds before he KO'd Gilbert. Do you see a huge flaw there, or do you feel like it's been 14 months since he last fought? Like, if he's not better at that ground game or at those elements by now, like he should be, right?
Yeah, for me, I'm never a guy to underestimate anybody. I like to overestimate my opponents. So for me, I'm like, you've had 14 months. You better have gotten better because, like I said, there's levels to this. I'm not Basil Hafez. I'm not Gilbert Burns. When you get into the cage with me, you're going to realize, dang, this is why he's a champion. Why does everybody keep saying that, he's not that good? He's definitely the best in the world, and I want to have him leave the cage with that reaction. So for him, it's going to be a tough night. It's going to be a rough night, but I'm not going to underestimate him. I'm going to overestimate him. I'm thinking that he's coming in with the best grappling he's ever had, the best striking he's ever had, the best boxing he's ever had. It's still not going to be enough.
Are you good with Shavkat still getting the shot after this, or do you feel like he should have to fight once more?
No, 100%. I feel like he deserves it. He earned it with the Ian Gary fight. It's so easy to get injured in this sport, right? The training is the hardest part of this sport. We just seen it recently with Hooker and with Arman. It sucks. And like I said, me building my legacy, I want to take these guys O's. These are the next younger generation. That's the JDMs. That's the Shavkats. Unless there's like a big fight with Buckley, or if he comes out there gets a big win with somebody, I think he could earn it, right? But right now I'm looking at him. Then I'm looking at Shavkat, and then we'll see what goes from there.
Yeah. What about Sean Brady if he's able to beat Leon? Where does he fit?
That's a big one, right? That's another name where you're like, he looked good his last 2 fights. I think he has to go out there and put on a performance against Leon, and then we'll also see where Leon is, right? Because Sean Brady's not an easy task, but I'd be both of them. So whoever's watching that fight, just know that the best man in the world has the belt, because you're gonna be cheering for both of those guys, and I beat them all.
Everyone kept saying Leon got like done dirty in this whole thing, like with the style change and everything. I'm like, he just fought Kamaru twice in a row. He fought Colby. He fought you all consecutively. If he's not prepared for Sean Brady, like he should have the easiest adjustment to this whole change, should he not?
100%. And when I'm looking at it, right, it's like you just had a whole camp for me. You just fought Usman, and then when you're looking at Jack, he was a whole different style than us, but like, it's not going to be a big change for you. Even when you're training for Jack, he's a boxer. Brady's going to need a box to get inside of you, so your distance control should be good, your hands should be controlled, and then Brady has to come to you on short notice. So it's going to be an interesting fight. I don't think Brady's going to be able to get in on him with his takedowns. I think Brady shoots kind of like Usman, where he reaches and he doesn't really have great setups. And in a bigger cage, I think Leon will be able to stick and move, kick and move. But I'm excited to see it.
And last couple things here. I know you are focused on this division, and you made it very clear earlier in this interview what you want to do, beat all these guys. But you have mentioned the possibility of moving up to 85, especially if Islam comes up, and just we'll see how this whole thing goes. But Dricus Du Plessis made his comments about you coming to 185 pretty clear. I know you already weighed in a little bit, but I guess where do you stand on Dricus after he kind of took those shots at you?
Bro, I would literally take his shots, eat them, and then walk through them. Dricus, I know what I got to do first, right? I got to win a couple more fights, and then I can start talking about going up. We'll see if he still has the belt by that time. He got a tough test in front of him with Hamzat. I don't think he's going to get past Hamzat, but maybe I'll still go up there anyway to smack him around, right? I love that energy when I get guys like up there. They say, oh, he's too small, or he's too this, because I get that even at 170. I'm not the biggest 170 pounder. I'm not the strongest or the fastest, but I'm the best. And if I go up to middleweight, I'll be the best as well.
And with Islam, like, this whole thing is kind of interesting now with Ilya coming up to lightweight, and he doesn't seem super keen. I know he would take the fight if they offered it to him and like send him the contract, but they want him to earn something there at lightweight. And people are wondering, could this expedite his move up to welterweight? I guess, what are your thoughts on Ilya coming up and how lightweight looks with Islam kind of teasing or maybe moving up at some point?
That's the part, right? It puts him in a bad spot, because it's like, everybody's calling for Ilya. Then you look at the comments and all of them are like, well, he's only fought in featherweights. And then he goes out there and he beats Ilya. And
he's also scared of Ilya, according to those same people.
Exactly, right? And then he's going to go out there and be like, oh, well, we told you that Ilya was too small. And Ilya could always go back down and say, oh, well, yeah, it wasn't good enough for me. But for Islam, for him to keep building his legacy, people are going to... They want to just see them lose, right? They want to see that team lose. And you saw it with like Umar. It was such a good fight, such a close fight. But everybody's acting like he got killed because they just want to see that team lose. People hate greatness. People hate success, and they'd rather see you fail. But for Islam, they don't really care about that. They don't hear that noise. I think if Ilya goes out there and he fights like a Charles or even a DDP and he gets the win, there's no denying him, right? You have to get the title shot. But it's just rough. I think I'm interested to see who they give Justin, because Islam was calling his name out, right? He said, I'm tired of these rematches. I gave all these guys rematches. So Justin goes out there, gets a big name, gets a big victory, he could get it. And then you also have Paddy Pimblett and Michael Chandler, right? Paddy's one of those guys. If he gets a big victory, they're going to let him jump the line. Even Chandler, all he needs is one win, no matter how many losing streak he's on, that he's going to cut that promo, and his name is big enough where he'll always get a title shot. So I think there's people for him to fight. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, do you think this whole thing, like you at 185 as well at welterweight, like it's all going to play out organically, right? Like I know you're always going to get asked about it, but when the time comes, do you think it's all going to be logical and just happen as it naturally should?
100%. Yeah, I think it's just gonna. That's how it always works, right? Everything's the landscape's gonna happen regardless of what we do or what we say. I got a tough task in front of me with JDM, right? And we'll go from there. I never like to look way too far ahead, right? Because you have all these plans, but then God has a plan. For me, my plan was to beat Shavkat in December. It didn't happen. My plan was to beat Shavkat in May. Didn't happen. So now we got somebody else. So my eyes are locked on him. He's my bullseye right now, and that's all I'm worried about.
And well, you've proven, if anything, to be a flexible champion. So I hope people appreciate that out there. Ball, appreciate the time. Hope the training camp is good, and we'll see you back here in May.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you.